Hey everyone, and welcome back to Brian's Horror Movies for Life YouTube channel. And welcome to this modern horror movie review video as part of my current series. So the movie we're going to take a look at today is one that came out a few years ago and was fairly well received or talked about in a positive manner. It's first time watch for me, and it's a movie I have on Blu-ray, DVD, and digital, the combination, and that movie is from 2022, Talk to Me. So, yep, slip cover there. There's the back. So yeah, let's talk about Talk to Me. So Talk to Me is a 2022 Australian supernatural horror film directed by Danny and Michael Philippou in their feature directorial debuts and written by Danny Philippou and Bill Heinzman. Based on a concept by Daley Pearson, the film follows a group of teenagers discovering that they can contact spirits using a mysterious severed and embalmed hand. At a house party in Adelaide, Cole frantically searches for his brother Duckett. When he finds Duckett and attempts to bring him home, Duckett stabs Cole and kills him. And kills himself, I should say. Sometime later, 17-year-old Mia is struggling with the anniversary of her mother Ria's death from an accidental sleeping pill overdose and her distant relationship with her father Max. Mia, her best friend Jade, and Jade's little brother Riley sneak out to a gathering hosted by Haley and Joss, where the main attraction is a severed embalmed hand. Holding the hand and saying "talk to me" enables communication with the deceased person's spirit, while saying "I let you in" allows the spirit to possess them. To prevent spirits from binding themselves to the hand holder, someone else must end the possession before 90 seconds by pulling away the embalmed hand and blowing out a candle. Mia volunteers to go first and is possessed by a spirit that displays a menacing focus on Riley. Joss and Haley struggle to break the connection, and the time limit is slightly exceeded. Ecstatic over the experience, Mia joins Haley, Joss, and Jade's boyfriend Daniel at Jade's house the next night. Everyone except Riley and his friend James take several turns being possessed, invoking different spirits each time. Jade refuses to let Riley participate, but when Jade leaves the room and Riley insists, Mia lets him take a turn for 50 seconds. Riley appears to be possessed by the spirit of Rhea, who attempts to reconcile with Mia. And then the movie goes on from there. So that's kind of the setup and the premise, the beginning. As far as the cast goes, we have Sophie Wilde as Mia, Alexandra Jensen as Jade, Joe Bird as Riley, Otis Donji as Daniel, Miranda Otto as Sue, Zoe Terakis as Haley, Chris Alacio as Joss, and Marcus Johnson as Max. So yeah, that's the setup, the premise, and the cast for the 2022 Australian horror film Talk to Me. I have to say, this is a pretty enjoyable experience, and especially for a subgenre that's, I think, a little bit overplayed, a little bit generic at this point when you're talking about possession. This movie kind of brings a unique element to the table, shall we say, that really kind of makes it stand apart. So let's just go ahead and get into it, starting with the things that I like about Talk with Me, the positives for it. And I thought the opening to the movie was very effective, where we're not really sure what's going on. We've got this guy that's making a beeline for this party, this room in the party, to try to, as it turns out, try to find his brother and bring him home. And violence pursues right away on screen. And yeah, it's kind of like the beginning of what do you call it, from 2014. Why am I forgetting now? It's a popular movie, but the name is escaping me right now. Just give me a second. I can picture the cover in my head. Oh, good Lord. Shoot, I can't remember. Well, maybe it'll come back to me. But anyway, it has a really effective opening that really just brings you into the movie. It gets your attention and interest in a pretty visceral way right away. That's kind of what I was getting at right at the beginning of the movie, like that 2014 movie that I can't think of. about it's about the STD basically that follows people, and you have to get rid of it by having sex with somebody. Why can't I think of the name of it? Anyway, somebody can put it in the comments down below. But yeah, I really like the opening of the movie. For this being the first directorial debut for these two directors, these brothers, the movie's very well shot, directed, and just overall envisioned. Like they took a subgenre of horror and realized probably that there's a lot of movies made about possession. A lot of them are more generic. I think they brought a lot of different ideas and interesting elements to the screen here, and I think they executed them pretty well. I have to say. So yeah, the Filippo brothers, very impressive. Their directorial debut, especially. I mean, it'd be a good movie even for directors that have been around for a while. But considering this was their directorial debut, I had to bring them up because they really do an excellent job here directing. I also think the performances, especially by Sophie Wilde and Joe Bird, are really good. Of course, Sophie Wilde plays our main character of Mia, and Joe Bird plays Riley, who's kind of our possessed character for most of the movie. And the physical acting that they have to do, the emotional acting they have to do is really they really carry the movie with it. If it didn't work, I mean, the movie wouldn't work. But they both do a really good job, and for the most part, all the performances are good. Even though I didn't connect with all the characters in the same way, which we'll get into in a little bit here, but the performances by the two leads are really, really good with the physical and emotional acting they have to do. I love the practical makeup and gore effects in this movie. That's the thing I really didn't expect that I really loved the most, because you get a lot of CGI nowadays. I didn't really notice any CGI in this movie. Maybe I'm just getting used to it, if there was any. I'm not sure. But just the look of the spirits, as well as those characters when they're possessed. Of course, they get the big saucer fish eyes. But there's also their face also gets disgruntled and kind of messed up and whatnot. They go back like this, and I don't do a very good job of it. That's why I'm an accountant and not an actor. But you kind of get the point if you've seen the movie. But so yeah, the look of the spirits and them. But then also when the character of Riley, when he becomes fully possessed, he starts banging his head on the table, on the wall, and they don't hold back. I mean, it's very visceral, very violent, very gory. And that was all practically done, and that was really, really impressive as well. So, yeah, definitely a big fan of the practical makeup and gore effects in this movie, which we don't get a lot of in the 2020s anymore. So very impressed by that. That's definitely a pro. As I said before, it takes a pretty overplayed and generic subgenre, especially now in the last 10 or 15 years, and really adds some interesting elements to it. The embalmed hand, of course, being the biggest one, but also the theme of the idea that being able to get possessed for a short amount of time is like a drug, basically. It's like these guys were all shooting heroin or smoking or sniffing coke or something. They get a high from it. That's very interesting and very different. The fact that, as long as you don't allow it to go on for more than, what did it say, 90 seconds or something, that you actually, it's like they enjoy it. When they come out of it, they're laughing and they want to do it again. It's like a drug. And I thought that's another very interesting element that's added to this movie that really makes Talk to Me stand apart from a lot of other possession movies, especially in the last 20 years or so. It stands on its own in that regard, and that's as high a compliment as you can give a movie in a pretty overplayed subgenre of horror. And then I thought the ending was very effective. I know some people had problems with it about what it means, and not enough was explained and things of that nature. I kind of got it. I don't think I really needed more explained. I mean, yeah, it's true. This movie they don't give you the exposition dump necessarily. They don't explain everything. But I think if you pay attention, I think for this kind of movie, it works not to explain everything. But basically, our character of Mia at the end is back in the hospital and seeing different things. And the big one that a lot of people talk about is sort of the ambiguity of her dad walking towards the elevator in the hospital. And he's going up in the elevator. And does that mean he's alive and he survived something that happened traumatic to him earlier? Or is he dead and he's going to heaven kind of thing? It's a little bit where another character is kind of stuck in limbo, basically. But I thought it was a very effective ending. And then the very end where One of our characters in the movie is now a spirit that's being called by this group of friends that are partying somewhere across seas or and somewhere in the world. And the last line of the movie is, "I let you in," and then it cuts to black. And I just thought that's a good way to end a horror movie, especially in 2022. Very effective. So Talk to Me has a lot going for it, in my opinion. It's not perfect, though, and that's where we'll get into the cons. And this is probably more of a personal thing, but the whole PTSD, losing a loved one cliche, is kind of getting a little old for me. And I understand why they have to do it for these movies, these possession movies, because you have to have a way for the character to hold on long enough to be possessed, or for the spirit, the evil spirit, so to speak, to be able to wreak havoc and possess somebody long enough. So in the case of this movie, when you have a mom that died like a year ago, and all of a sudden the spirit knows that, and it can take on that likeness, then of course one of the characters who lost the mom's not going to want, no, just wait, let him talk a little bit, it's my mom. And even though it's really not, of course, but just that whole trope, that whole cliche, which is common in possession, it'd just be nice if we could do without it, if we could move on to something else, to find a way for the possessors to come in and take over the possessed. That probably doesn't make any sense, but yeah, it's just a cliche that allows the spirits to possess. It's just getting kind of old for me. Some of the side characters I didn't connect with as much, like Riley's mom. She was kind of all over the joint, I thought. The boyfriend, Jade's boyfriend, didn't really do a lot for me. Not the acting so much, but just kind of the characters, and not really, when they were on screen without our main characters, it was a little bit less, in my opinion. So I thought they could have wrote them a little bit better, gave them a little bit more to do. And then another con I had, and this one was kind of rectified halfway through the movie, but at first when I was watching, I was like, oh God, it's going to be one of these kind of movies where everybody's got their iPhone and they pull it out and they're recording these possessions that are taking place, which I am not a big fan of, because right away it takes me out of the movie a lot of times. But fortunately, they kind of got rid of that about halfway through the movie, and then it became more creepy and a little bit more realism involved to it. But yeah, leading up to that, like there are these gatherings and everybody's got their phone out and they're recording the possessions, and of course they want to post it to Snapchat or YouTube or I'm just not a big fan of like modern technology horror, like a lot of those webcam movies, those horror webcam movies and things like that. It's not really my bag, and so I'm glad that they went away from that direction in this movie. But it is there in this movie. It's part of my least favorite parts of the movie, if I'm being honest about it. But yeah, I don't know, guys. Overall, though, I really enjoyed Talk to Me. I'm glad to have it in my collection. I don't necessarily think it's the scariest movie of all time, which a lot of these modern aficionados tend to do this. Like if it's a movie that has a little bit more to say than a Jason Voorhees movie, they'll call it scary and what's the word? Groundbreaking. Follow Me. I think that was the movie I was trying to, from 2014. Or no, not Follow Me. Oh shit, I thought I had it. Damn it, what is that one with the actress's name who's been in a few things now? It's Follow Something. Oh, damn. Anyway, but it's not, this isn't really a scary movie. It's more of an unnerving, unsettling movie, and I think for that they do well with it. Couple of creepy parts, but the idea that this is the scariest movie of the last 10 years that's pushing it a bit, at least for me. Now, I know everybody's got their own definition of scary, but anyway, I'm going to give Talk to Me an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 for Talk to Me. It's a really solid modern horror movie that I would recommend everybody check out at least once, even if you're tired of the possession subgenre. This one is different, so give it a go. With that being said, please like this video, hit the little notification bell, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. You can also comment down below any thoughts or feelings you have about this movie. But yeah, with that being said, I hope you guys are enjoying these modern horror movie reviews. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more to come here. And as always, stay scared. Bye.